What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Don't Quote Us Sports. It is Tuesday, February 4th. And Herb, we have made it to episode 41. Cue the woo, ka-chow.
Oh, Lightning McQueen.
Ka-chow.
All right, there it is. Okay.
But there's some 41s I got to get out there real quick. This is more a solid number than what I was expecting after doing some research.
It's a great list.
Like, I feel like we have not had a number this packed in a minute.
No, we've had to do some digging, and on this one, it's like they stuck out.
Yeah, obviously, you guys start with number 41 of the Dallas Mavericks, the fella from Germany, Dirk Nowitzki, Hall of Famer for 14-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA, MVP, NBA champ. I remember back in middle school, and I was trying, all 5 foot nothing of me was in my driveway trying to do the Dirk one-step fadeaway jumper. Just because it not well. Well, maybe it did. I don't remember. I just remember watching that 06 Heat Mavericks final. And that was I believe that was the year. It was that year or the next year when he won MVP. And he was top of the world. But
talk about one of the greatest runs to the finals. He beat OKC with KD, Russ, and James.
Too early.
Granite Young.
Too
Granite
early.
Young. No, or maybe it was a couple years after. He has one of the greatest finals runs of all time. It's
You're
OKC,
talking about the 2012 year.
Kobe, and then running into the Heat and dominating them all.
Yeah, that's the 2012.
Oh, still electric. I wore 41 my junior year basketball season just so I could be like Dirk. I didn't play anything like Dirk.
Not even close, I can imagine.
I tell you what, though, that little 10-foot baseline jumper, I had that on lock.
I can imagine you did.
I scored 24 points in the game one time just shooting that shot, baby.
Just bullying kids down on the block.
Yes. I outweighed everybody.
Next one, keep it in the NBA. We'll do the NBA guys first real quick because we have a couple. For the old heads, for your dad who might listen, otherwise, if not Kelly, tell Mr. Herb how Wes Unseld used to wear number 41, Hall of Famer for the Washington Bullets, MVP, Rookie of the Year.
Second youngest MVP of all time.
Ooh, really? I didn't even know that one. Fun fact. A near and dear one to Charlotte fans, Glenn Rice, 3-time All-Star, 2-time NBA. Also has an NBA championship from being a bench player for one of those Lakers teams. So that's NBA. And then baseball, got a couple big ones. Just kidding, the rest are baseball. So the biggest one here is Tom Seaver. That dude was around for fucking ever. Hall of Famer, 3-time Cy Young, 12-time All-Star. And then one that's a little bit familiar for our age group growing up, and that was John Lackey.
Oh,
and that dude, I remember John Lackey being like really good for some reason growing up, but then I'm going through his stats, and I'm like, wow, this dude was the most pedestrian, like so number 3, number 4 starter I've ever seen before in my life. But for some reason, I remember him being so much better than that.
Because he was making all-star games. Like
he only made one.
He only made one?
Yeah.
I would have thought he would have had like 8 or 9 of them.
That's what I'm saying.
He was just so consistent. He was just, you knew what you're getting when John went out there.
That's why I was shocked by that. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone there. And then another one that haunted me for a very long time because I was so used to playing against him, and that was Victor Martinez, formerly of the Cleveland Indians, and I would say more notorious with the Detroit Tigers, but one of the best hitting catchers of all time that definitely does not get as much credit as he deserves.
No, I think we all thought that Victor was going to be like the next incredible Yachty type. He just didn't quite live up to it, but that dude could smack a baseball.
Dude had
Didn't he run the AL one year in home runs?
I don't know if it was home runs. No, he didn't. But this dude played uh 16 years. Crazy enough.
What?
But he racked up over 2,000 hits, almost 250 home runs, and almost 1,200 RBIs, and batted 300. Nobody talks about it.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, was he playing Detroit post World Series runs?
He was there during the World Series runs.
Was he? Okay. All right. Probably because Maglio was probably the face of that thing at that time, right?
Verlander.
Oh, yeah. I mean, good pitcher over there.
Cabrera.
Miggy.
Yeah, he's probably going to take that.
Yeah.
All
right.
That's who I got.
I got one for you. It's NFL. And it's a name that we do forget about, but this is a 3-time Pro Bowler. This is almost 1,000 career tackles solo. It's Antoine Bethea.
Okay.
The safety
from
Indy and the Niners.
See, that one popped up in my research, but I didn't know if it was going to be too niche. Like, I read the name, and I'm like, that's a familiar name. Like, I know that name, but, like, I couldn't, like, name a single play of his ever.
I mean, I don't know that he might have one. He does have one career touchdown, so I feel like I've seen it. But the dude played 13 years in the league, which is pretty fucking insane at safety.
It's funny enough you say that because it just popped up on my TikTok, one of those like replays of the Colts versus Bears Super Bowl where Devin Hester returned the opening kickoff, and Antonio Bethea was in one of the clips chasing down somebody for and stopping him right near the goal line in that game.
I remember like being a Titans fan and watching him play for the Colts. I felt like that dude was all over the field all the time. And honestly, Antoine Bethea, what a great name for an NFL player. What a great name. So 13 years, the dude was consistent. He's not a Hall of Famer by any means, but like a hell of a football player.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, so I'll just keep that. Never mind. Scratch that. Scratch it. Forget I brought it up.
Oops.
Forget it.
Oopsie poopsies, as they say.
Cool. Yeah, but like I said, 41. Good number.
Good number.
We're going to have a solid one. 42 is going to be super solid.
42 is going to have an all-timer on there. I mean, a guy who retired the number itself. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit.
And he might not even be the best to ever wear it.
True. I think I know who you're going with. We're going to save it for
That's
next
an easy
week.
one. Easy one. Yeah.
Real quick, is it a pitcher?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, fair enough.
Okay, yeah. So that's what we got. But so obviously we didn't have a big sports weekend football perspective wise. So we're going to have to get used to that one. We got one more game coming up, Super Bowl on Sunday. So there's not been a whole lot in that realm as of right now. But we do have a lot of news. Just to quickly, maybe not quickly, but to cover, because there has been a lot of like coaching changes and management changes in the past couple of days that I feel like need to be talked about. The first of which is the Vikings firing our GM Kwesi Adofo. I don't even know Mensah or something.
Sure, I have no idea. I was waiting for you to butcher it.
Mensah. No, I just call him Kwesi. But dude, so fire him after 4 years, and I just have to walk like through this timeline because it just makes no sense looking back at it. So him and KOC got hired together back in 2021 or whenever that was. They just both signed extensions at some point last year in 2025. We get to January, we get to the Senior Bowl of this draft cycle. He's there all week representing the Vikings, conducting interviews, meeting with different players, yada, yada, yada. And then after he gets back, that's when the news breaks that he's been fired and let go. Which I don't know how that decision is made at that point. Because now the owners have put the Vikings in a precarious position.
To say the least.
Although I don't believe there was as many GM openings compared to head coach openings this year. But still, it feels like we are not getting the first pick. We have a late run at it. And especially as we're trying to ramp up for draft season, the timing of this just feels so off.
Well, and yeah, I mean, you could have done this a month ago in reality, right? And set yourself up to be in a way better position. I don't know what they were waiting for. Something must have come to light. As a Vikings fan, what do you suppose? Like, what was the nail in the coffin? Do you think
it's really starting to feel like he is the fall guy because of a lot of this information coming out right now, because they're going to point to the decision to not bring Sam Darnold back this year. And there was a lot of reports saying how KOC didn't believe JJ was ready to start yet, and they needed a veteran like Sam Darnold in the building. Blah blah blah. And Kwesi didn't do that. He's like, "This is what we're gonna do," type of thing. Kind of laying the blame on him there. Then the report comes out about how he took 20 days off of parental leave after his first kid was born, even though he was working from home. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what the culture's like. Obviously, it's a lot different when you are a member of the NFL in that inner circle compared to me working a desk job for 8 hours every single day. They can miss me for 3 months when it's a multi-billion-dollar league that you are a part of, and you're
the head of one of those teams.
Exactly. I feel like you probably should be there.
Yeah, but I can't imagine that him taking time to be with his newborn child and wife who just gave birth. I can't see the Vikings as an organization being like, well, that's it. That's what did it. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like that type of organization. It feels very family oriented. I mean, how many times have we seen them walk in these, Daniel Jones and his family, and it just doesn't feel like the Vikings are that type of staff. And also, come on, was it in the middle of the season? Was it in the middle of the draft? When was this? Do we know?
It was training camp time when you're making roster decisions.
Oh God, yeah, that's tough.
You kind of need to be there for that.
Yeah, no. Listen, you need,
it's different too. I feel like it's hypocritical, I should say, where it's players, their kid is born, they can be there they're typically there for the birth if they're lucky, and then it's right back the next day. There's no off time. So why does he, of all people, get to, even though he's working from home? I don't know how you really can work from home per se.
Took a couple phone calls along the way.
That doesn't, I don't know, but it just seems hypocritical. But then it's funny because that story breaks, but you also had the drama from early in the season when JJ McCarthy had his first kid. He ends up having to miss some practice time, and KOC had made some comments about it, and then it's just kind of ironic almost how this news drops after the firing. I don't know.
And I kind of hate that that's where we're at with the NFL and the GM world. All of a sudden we hear things. Wasn't it Woody Johnson and his kid that was using Madden ratings to scout players and figure out who to add? Do you remember that story was it last year or the year before?
Oh, yeah.
So let me, I don't think you've heard this side of the Kwesi conundrum, if you will. Now that he's been fired, all of a sudden, allegedly, he was only utilizing in a big portion of his scouting and playing players and roster decisions on PFF scores.
Yeah, he was hired as one of those like big analytical, like based decision makers. Um,
But like
but
PFF's for you and I, dude. PFF should not be. You can take a peek at it, see what it's all about, but like that shouldn't have heavy influence as the GM of an NFL franchise. You should be the one having those stats that PFF is then reporting on. You know what I mean?
one, I've never seen what the paid version of PFF looks like and
Fair.
what it entails. But two, I also believe PFF is like NFL teams are paying them for their data. If not PFF, it's some other type of like there's organizations out there whose job is just to like track a shit ton of data and then teams like pay them
Yeah, but
for
what
the
I'm
data.
my concern is that Kwesi was just going to Google, typing PFF.com, and taking a gander. You know what I mean? Like I would think that an NFL franchise would either have their own data analytics team or hire it to a third party to do that. And maybe PFF is that, and maybe that was the situation. But if he was just like logging in as a casual, like you and I, checking who's the top ranked right guard in the last 2 weeks against the pass, that's concerning. But I think in terms of Kwesi getting fired, I think it was more around the Sam Darnold situation. Not so much that Sam Darnold walked, but that the Vikings were even in this quarterback issue where was it JJ? Was it another vet? Is it Danny Jones? Is it Sam Darnold? So I think like that played a massive role in just having them in the situation, regardless of the decision that he made.
Yeah, but as I started digging into it more. I never was like super bought in on Kwesi, to be honest. The connection with him and KOC kind of just felt weird. Like they didn't really have a connection prior to coming into Minnesota together. Um, but his draft record has just been atrocious since he's come into the league, and I didn't realize how bad it was until I was kind of doing some background before this show. But the Vikings have received only 172 starts from players drafted between 2022 and 2025, which is two, three, four. That is four draft classes. That's the second fewest in the league during that span. They are one of 11 teams that haven't drafted a Pro Bowl player over that period.
That's
They've
tough.
gone four straight drafts without drafting a Pro Bowl player, and you know how easy it is to make a goddamn Pro Bowl
Yeah,
nowadays.
Shador made it.
Like, come on,
Joe
they're
Flacco made the Pro Bowl for fuck's
they're
sake.
they're handing those things out like participation trophies.
Yeah. And I think we've talked about it before, but his inability to identify talent at the DB position, especially drafting bust after bust after bust after bust in the secondary, and then not having the ability to go sign somebody in the secondary, that's a big, like, if we're talking about real GM related stuff, I think that has a huge play in it. But then you look at, like, I'll play devil's advocate and defend them a little bit. You look at what they did in free agency last year. Holy shit. Like that, you and I have talked about it. He did a great job on building it up. Just didn't work out. I don't know why still, other than the quarterback play, but like I'll give him a shot out there, like going out and getting Javon Hargrave and getting your center and getting drafting the right guard, the correct guard, who I've been down on in a big way. So yeah, it just, and then the contingency plan or the succession plan here. What do you make of this? Where they're going to is it the assistant GM or director of player personnel is going to kind of run the draft and free agency, and then they're going to hire a GM? Is that the idea?
Yeah, Rob Brzezinski or whatever. He's our accounting guru, um, type of dude. I don't know what his actual title is, um, but
Well,
yeah,
why wait?
I mean, are you really gonna hire? The draft is in 2 months. Are you really going to hire somebody who's going to be able to evaluate the roster that we currently have along with the entire draft class, which is, I know, 100 and how many people are 244 players are drafted or something like that.
Something like that.
But you have to scout damn near 500, be like preparing for undrafted free agents and stuff. Like, I just don't know if there's enough time where you hire somebody and they provide any sort of value. If you're hiring like for the draft specifically, I'd rather give it to KOC and this other guy who's been with the franchise for damn near 2 decades and figure it out afterwards.
Yeah, but you don't think you could go find an assistant GM at another franchise, give him the show? I mean, that's somebody who's been in it, prepping for the draft, prepping for free agency. Granted, for different needs for a different team, but at least that's somebody with their finger on the pulse and has an understanding of what the talent can look like or should look like. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you draft, like KOC and this other fellow draft and go through free agency and you hire somebody, that GM has to be responsible for what was just drafted. So I think I'd rather get somebody in the building this week or next week, get the deal done, and let them run. Now, maybe we go into the draft saying KOC and this director of player personnel guy, they're going to kind of run the show, but you're going to have some input here because you've been doing your homework for the Steelers or for the Dolphins or whoever the hell you hire. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there is a way to do this, and they're just opting not to.
I mean, I feel like you'd be rushing and almost hiring somebody to hire somebody. You're telling me you're gonna hire a GM of a multi-billion-dollar franchise in a week or two? That doesn't seem like you doing enough homework.
Well, I feel like if you're a good owner, which I would think the Vikings ownership were good owners.
If they were good owners, they wouldn't have fired him 28 days after the season ended.
That's fair. That's kind of the point I was getting at of like you had better have done your homework prior to cutting him loose. But again, why didn't we do this a month ago? Why didn't you do it a week after the season ended?
Exactly. So
they've painted themselves into a corner here, and it's not great for what I feel like is a little bit of an unstable franchise right now.
And it's not like this Brzezinski guy has been with the franchise for 30 plus years. He's more known for managing the salary cap and being our lead contract negotiator. But he's also the one that signs off on all of the Vikings moves over the course of the offseason, from free agency through the draft in late April. So we already had a massive voice in the process. I'm not overly concerned. And like I said, it can get worse than what we were doing before.
And if that's all true, which you're telling me, so I believe that it is, then just hire him as your GM. Give him a 2-year deal. If he's been in the game that long, I assume he's an older gentleman. Give him a 2-year deal, see how it goes, and then you can kind of set yourself up and really do your homework, knowing this guy's probably going to be done in his career at some point here soon.
Right.
So I wouldn't be opposed to that if he handled free agency. KOC said, "Hey, I got the draft because we've been evaluating talent for the last 2 years on this draft class." I don't hate that now that I got a little background on it, but again, painting themselves into a corner. They did this to themselves, and they did this to you, the fan. So I'm sorry, bud, but it's going to be a little bit of a shaky road ahead.
Yep, I agree with you there.
Real quick, before we move on to the next topic, can you scoot back a little bit? Are we rocking a Chapel Roan Pink Pony Club shirt?
I am. Yes, I actually got this on a trip when I went to Washington, D.C. to visit our gay friend. So I got him a matching shirt. I got a matching shirt, and my wife got a matching shirt. And then we went to a karaoke bar, and we sang Pink Pony Club.
That's phenomenal. I, too, own a Chapel Roan Pink Pony Club t-shirt. Not the same, but I do own one. It's I wish I was wearing it right now. That would have been a great coincidence.
I mean, since we're on the topic, do you want to talk about her
Chapel? Listen, they say that Chapel's for the theys and the gays. Consider me one of those because I love me some Chapel Roan. And Chapel fucking just stunned on that Grammys red carpet, brother.
Yeah, for those that missed it, she was wearing a dress that was holding on for dear life from her nipples. And I saw the funniest tweet ever that was like, the pain that she would have felt if somebody accidentally stepped on her dress at some point last night would have probably been unbearable.
Now, let me ask you this, because I was enamored by like the science of what was happening here and how they pulled this off. Do you think they were actually nipple piercings, or do you think they put a prosthetic over her actual nipple and attached it to that?
I can say my wife let me look at it for too long. So I can't say I got a good enough look to answer the question.
Oh, me and my girlfriend were on the couch super analyzing this. I was zoomed in on the Instagram, not from like a weird standpoint of like, how are they doing this? That I was seeking knowledge, Isaiah.
Yeah, no, I didn't get the opportunity to do
Hey,
that.
she's a queen, huh? I mean, she doesn't give a fuck about
No,
any of it. I love Chapel.
not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Okay, back to NFL though. So funny news actually. We were just talking last week about Bill Belichick not being selected to the Hall of Fame class of 2026. I,
Yes,
for some reason, thought Robert Kraft had been named. No,
I thought he
he
had
didn't.
too.
He didn't get selected. So, hey, at least if one didn't go in, neither of them went in, type of thing. No favoritism here.
No, and I I wonder how much of that was due to the backlash and the shit sandwich that Bill Polian ended up having to eat on that one.
I have no idea, but
He looked
whatever.
like coming out of that whole thing. Bill Polian looked like the biggest jackass in the world.
Although I do feel kind of bad. Like, it's one of those things I do feel a little bad, like bad when you have these older individuals that have the opportunity to join any Hall of Fame, right? And there's no guarantee in life that they make it, we make it to another year, right? Like, not trying to be like super like grim and stuff, but
Jesus.
it would, it kind of would suck, obviously, if he didn't get to experience it for himself, you know?
You'd rather see Robert Kraft go in and actually put the jacket on as opposed to like a posthumous type of
Exactly.
situation. That's fair. I'll give it to him. I think Robbie's going to be all right. I
And
think
it's like,
that guy's got
especially,
enough money to
it's
stay
like one of those
alive.
things like we know for a fact, like he's going to get in at some point. I'd rather it occur in his lifetime. Whereas, like, you have some of these players, like these senior players, right, that haven't played in 30, 40 years, but they get brought back up for however they get brought up, right? They had no expectation of making it, you know? So that, I feel like that's different.
Yeah, I would rather see a Hall of Famer actually put the jacket on themselves. I'll give you that.
Like a no doubter Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel
Um,
like we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna be talking about some guys in the Hall of Fame. We're like, really? Are we sure he's not just the Hall of Very Good?
Yeah, well, we'll figure that out in a couple of years as some of these quarterbacks start coming up for eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now into the other kind of big news in the NFL. I'm trying to get like a list here real quick, and that's just coaching hires that have occurred since we last recorded because we had a good handful, and I want to try and not miss them all. But there's also like defensive coordinators and stuff that I think are pretty important. Um, the most recent one was LaFleur's brother. I believe it's Matt.
Mike.
Mike. Yeah, Mike LaFleur.
Mm-hmm.
Just got named the Arizona Cardinals head coach. He says he's also going to call plays too, which I feel like that rarely ends well unless you are Sean McVay.
Yeah, and how many years has Mike LaFleur been calling plays in the NFL?
Well,
And I
he
think
hasn't been doing it for any of the years he's been in LA. So,
yeah, that's an interesting hire. They were starting to get back to new corner. Let's keep in mind the Raiders still have not hired a head coach. Like that is a
because it's a
big
foregone
fucking
conclusion
deal.
that they are signing Clint Kubiak after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah,
It is the worst kept secret of all time.
yeah. I just LaFleur. Sure. Are you any better off than with Jonathan Gannon? I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
sure, to be honest with you.
yeah, he's been the offensive coordinator since 2023 for the Rams, and then before that, he was the offensive coordinator in New York in 2021, 2022. I would imagine, knowing the Jets, that season didn't end well. But that was probably the only year that he's called plays in the NFL.
Not ideal.
So very bold of him to just be like, the ball's on him to be like, yeah, I'm gonna get named head coach. I'm gonna call plays now.
Shit. I got this shit. Fuck it.
That's
my old head coach does it. My brother does it. Fuck it. I got it.
Fuck it. Yeah, you right.
He's just sitting there going, how hard could it be?
Exactly.
Like, extremely hard.
I had no idea. But yeah, 38 years old. If Arizona got a good one, might have a good one for a minute. It will be interesting though, because they do have a lot of good weapons on that offensive side of the ball there in Arizona. It's whether or not they can get enough quarterback play to put enough points up. And they got that at points last year with Jacoby Brissett. So I think it will be fun. I am intrigued by the hire. I'm not as down on it as you are. I think he does have obviously the coaching tree and all that to kind of fall back on. But we'll see. I think it makes sense. You're saying him or Jonathan Gannon, can you really tell a difference? Well, when your job, Jonathan Gannon, is known as a defensive guy, he was a defensive coordinator before, and you're there for 3 years and your defense is dog shit every single one of those years, especially after the amount of resources they put in this previous offseason, your ass is gone. Like, I don't care. If there's no noticeable difference in play over the course of 3 years on the side of the ball that you specialize in, you're not going to be around for long.
Yeah, and I said it before. I thought Jonathan Gannon had one more year to figure things out down there. So, this one it doesn't do much for me yet. And I could be way, way wrong. It'll be interesting to see if they jump on a quarterback early in the draft now, having an offensive-minded head coach. I'm not talking about in the first round. I'm talking about in the second or third, and they go get your Cade Klubnik or a Garrett Nussmeier type. It'll be interesting to see if they go that route with an offensive-minded head coach now. But again, you said that offense has some nice pieces: Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, and then you have to assume that running back room is going to be healthy, whether you have James Conner or not. Trey Benson's going to come back with a vengeance, I feel like. So there's some nice pieces, and I think we mocked them going to get a tackle anyway. So could be interesting. Jacoby, consistent dude. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes for you.
Yep. Next one, Todd Monken gets hired in Cleveland, which just felt kind of like an oddball hire because I definitely felt like all signs pointed to them going to one of these young, bright offensive minds. You had the dude from Jacksonville, I think it's the offensive coordinator now, Grant Udusky or something, who's getting a lot of run. And then you had the Rams passing game coordinator or something like that. But they were both early 30s. Like, they were young dudes. And it really felt like those were going to be the names that they picked. But then Todd Monken gets picked. Jim Schwartz, there's reports of him just being pissed off to high hell, which...
Wouldn't you be?
I never understood how that was going to work, where they openly said, we would like to keep him as a DC. Like, not even, like, giving him an opportunity.
And the crazy, like, he interviewed for the head coaching job, and they just maintained this idea. Did you hear? And I don't know if we talked about. Did you hear about their hiring process?
I was just gonna bring that up, but
Jesus, you're the Cleveland Browns. Who the fuck do you think you are doing this type of shit? Go tell the people, please.
No, you. I quickly read it like a week ago.
There were so they bring in these coaches for hours-long interviews. And part of the interview process was like 2 different types of personality tests. They had homework after the first or before the first interview and before the second interview. And I'm talking about homework to do. There was a written essay portion of that whole thing, which is absurd. I didn't know we were applying to colleges here. And then the last
even college wasn't that intense.
No.
I wrote a single page article or paper to get into college.
Of why my most troubling time and my most adverse time and how I overcame it. Didn't you?
I don't even remember what it is, to be honest about it.
But anyway, the last bit was that whoever the head coach was had to be willing and accepting to have Jim Schwartz as the DC, and you're not going to go out and hire a DC. If you love Jim Schwartz that damn much, give him the head coaching job. He's got prior head coaching experience, granted unsuccessful teams in Detroit, but nonetheless, he's been there before. The players love him. The guys on defense, I mean, look what he did with some of those fellas. He made that defense into something it shouldn't have been. I didn't understand why Jim Schwartz wasn't the hire if you're going to go with an older guy, Todd Monken, anyway. And also for Todd Monken, brother, I don't think you're a head coach. I think you're a hell of a coordinator. Why in the hell wouldn't you have just gone to New York with Harbaugh and played with all the new toys and Malik Neighbors and Scatabo and Jackson Dart? Dude, now you're playing around with Judkins, Shadur, and Cedric Tillman?
I mean, it's one of those things, like, I understand why he did it. There's only 32 of these jobs available on the planet Earth, and you never know, like, if and when you will ever get an opportunity. There's been coaches out there in the NFL, hell, in college, that have been around for decades and decades and never got a chance, never got an opportunity, whether it was their choice or not, you know? So Todd Monken got his chance, and he's going to take it, you know? So I don't fault him for it. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I would much rather, like, if you looked at it on paper, it makes a lot more sense to go where there's more talent, but I understand why he chose to take on the gig.
More talent, almost no burden of having to shoulder a franchise, especially the Cleveland Browns. I mean, great news for Shadur, though, right? Because, I mean, seemingly Shadur is kind of the guy next year. I think as a lot of people are looking at it, that may change through the offseason. But maybe he'll find something in Shadur and help him take another step. I don't know. But real quick, did you see Todd Monken in the facility on day one? Did you see the fit?
Mm.
He was wearing an oversized, untucked button-down, no tie, a suit jacket, and blue jeans.
I love it.
And the greatest tweet, and the greatest tweet was like, why is my guy Todd Monken out here looking like 1999 Tim Duncan on the sideline? And they showed us side by side with Tim Duncan. They're wearing the same fit. And somebody's like, this guy's all about ball. Like, look out. The Browns are back. Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
Like, is that not scream blue collar? Like, you remember growing up, right? Like, if your dad ever had to dress up for something formal, right? I'm sure that's exactly what he was dressing up in, right?
Oh, it's 90s chic, baby. Todd Monken knows what he's doing.
Exactly. He's pandering to the Cleveland fans. I'm one of you, he's saying.
He's saying, hey, I don't even own slacks. I got these Levi's, though. Don't worry, I pressed them before I showed up today.
Exactly. But funny enough, that brings me, one man the Cleveland Browns gain is another man's loss, the New York Giants. Instead of having Todd Monken, who has been wildly successful as an offensive coordinator over the past couple of years, the Giants fall back on Matt Nagy as their offensive coordinator. God rest their soul.
Lord have mercy.
How does he keep getting hired for these roles?
He's got to have blackmail on half of these owners. He has to. He got replaced in KC by the guy that he replaced, and now he's in New York with Harbaugh. It doesn't make sense.
He is the dude that I blame all of Kansas City's offensive struggles from the past couple of seasons on. Ever since he went back there.
I don't know if Matt Nagy's allowed to step foot inside the city limits of Chicago, if we're being 100% honest with ourselves here.
I mean, in fairness, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and talk about the Giants. You go from Mike Kafka, which I think Mike Kafka was a pretty solid offensive coordinator for you.
He was a terrible interim coach, though.
Oh, yeah, man, we all knew that. Come on now. He finds himself in Detroit now.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. We'll see on that one. We'll see if Dan Campbell ends up calling plays again at some point.
They need a spark there. They need a spark offensively.
Other big news, Brian Daboll new offensive coordinator down in Tennessee. I actually love that for you guys.
We're so back. Did you see who we hired as a defensive coordinator?
I don't care. You got Brian Sala, so
we got Gus Bradley, the former head coach, Gus Bradley, to come run the defense. And yeah, Sala is going to call it, but I need a good coordinator. I wanted Al Harris. I wanted the youth of Al Harris. I think Al Harris is going to be an NFL head coach one day down the line. But you're talking about 3 guys, all with head coaching experience, coming together with a second-year quarterback. Also, we are going in Tennessee for the all-bald coaching staff. 7 coaches hired so far. Not a hair follicle amongst them.
Hell yeah. You know how much time you save for studying when you don't have to worry about personal hygiene?
Yeah. Just wipe it down with a wet wipe and let's get after it, boys.
Exactly. Okay, going back to Matt Nagy, though, because I had to look it up because I had to put stats to how fucking bad his offenses have
Preach
been.
on it, please.
He has been an offensive coordinator or coach for 8 years. He has finished top 10 in points twice. Do you want to take a stab at when the most recent time was that happened?
I won't even give it the most recent Chiefs Super Bowl run, but the one before that. Shit, I don't even know the year. Hit me.
It was his first year in Chicago in 2018. Finished 9th in points. And then the other occurrence was his first year as Kansas City offensive coordinator when they finished 6th. Outside of that, he has finished 29th, 22nd, 27th, 15th, and then most recently, the last 3 years with the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, 15th, 15th, and 21st.
Yeah. Matt Nagy's not a good football coach.
It just doesn't make sense.
And let's also keep in mind that Andy Reid was or might still be calling the shots on the offense for the Chiefs. So really, he's just a figurehead.
Not a good one at that either.
Nope. I'm so glad the Titans. Honestly, I'm so glad no NFL team gave that dude a head coaching job.
Dude, I was really concerned there for you for a minute.
You were concerned. I was talking about having to switch fandom again.
That would have been one of the all-time worst hires ever.
Listen, I know I've threatened switching fandom up on the Bulls before in the NBA. I didn't think the Titans could do anything that would make me even consider it. That would have been a heavy, heavy push factor for me.
Mm-hmm. Trying to see if there's any other good ones out there. You did get the offensive coordinator for the Lions wrong. Lions hired Drew Petzing, the former Cardinals offensive coordinator.
So what the hell's Mike Kafka doing for him?
Well, maybe I'll get there. Eric Bieniemy got upgraded back to Kansas. I'm pretty sure he was the team's offensive coordinator from 2018 to 2022.
Yeah, go back to where you were successful,
Packers hired Jonathan Gannon to be their defensive coordinator.
Good hire.
Well,
he has issues in Arizona, as we've stated, but I think that's
he's one of those better coordinators than head coach types. I think that was a good hire.
Yeah, and talk about the tremendous amount of talent that the Packers have on defense compared to the Arizona defense. It's hard to fuck that up.
Oh, interesting one here. Who the Eagles signed as their offensive coordinator?
Oh God, I feel like was it a passing game coordinator from somewhere?
He was a quarterback's coach.
All right, hit me. I feel like I saw this.
Sean Mannion. I didn't even know he was a coach. Now,
Oregon State legend, baby, and he's
Vikings legend.
Oregon State legend. Thank you very much. He's not a Vikings legend. He would
Vikings legend
on the team along the way.
We had some great Week 17/18 games with Sean Mannion at the helm.
How many Sean Mannion jerseys do you think were in the stands at that time? 3,
If there
4.
was more than 4 and people outside of his family wearing them, I would have been shocked.
He was a baller at Oregon State, though. Like, the dude was a baller in college.
Continuing on. Great hire. 49ers keep doing a really good job of filling their defensive coordinators.
I love this one.
Raheem Morris, former Falcons.
Shanahan has it figured out. Hey, you lose your head coaching job? Come on. A year or 2 with me will get you back in rotation. Come on. Yep. I love that. I love that hire. That's a great hire.
And then any other... Zach Robinson got named the Bucs offensive coordinator.
Hey, good for the lefty Z-Rob.
I think that's pretty much everything. Give or take.
Real quick, Kafka is with the Lions. I wonder if he's going to be quarterbacks coach and like associate head coach or some BS or passing game coordinator. Or who knows?
I'll pander to you real quick.
Mainly because I want to know.
They just said he was hired to their offensive staff.
Well,
his title has not been revealed.
What are we doing?
He's there. He's a figurehead.
Hey, you're in the offensive staff room. Okay, what position group? Haven't quite figured that out yet.
He's a roamer. You know how they have those at like retail stores? You're just a roamer. We might need you in produce one day. Might need to jump on the register another day. You're just going to jump around. We'll figure out where we need you.
Utility guy. I mean, listen, you need the water jugs filled. I got you. You need a quarterbacks coached up. I got you. You need to know when to throw against cover 2. I got you.
Exactly. It's one of those, how's the saying go? Like, where you're really, jack of all trades, master of none?
Yes.
Nailed that. Let's fucking go. I love that saying.
Proud of you on that one.
I love that saying.
Yeah, but Mike Kafka don't ever be a head coach again. Okay, I know you only got a couple weeks to do it, but stay the hell.
I don't think he's gonna have a choice after that performance.
Wasn't great.
No, but Herb, that's football. I'm not gonna sit here and pander to the audience because there's just nothing else to talk about right now.
No, we'll give our Super Bowl preview later this week.
Maybe. However, in the NBA, in other hands. And breaking news. Do some breaking news noise real quick.
God, that's going to hurt people's ears.
Clippers deal James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland and a second-round pick. Herb, this was news we were about to talk about how James Harden...
It's been forecasted for a day.
How James Harden, for some reason, out of nowhere, demanded a trade out of LA. This is now the, I believe, 4th time he has demanded a trade and been granted said trade as well. I'm going to say it. I don't fucking get it, though. From a Cleveland perspective. You want to try and take a stab at explaining it to me?
No, because I don't quite get it either. You look at the scoring, and he's scoring 25 a night, which I think puts him around like 13th in the league right now.
That's his most since his last year in Houston, by the way.
Oh, so he's on the uptick. My thing is like you took a really young stud player who was going to be with your franchise for quite a while.
He's 26.
Yeah, and Garland is now no longer a part of your picture. I didn't understand Cleveland breaking up this core when we started hearing rumors about it. I thought they were doing something nice. Now, you take a look at the Cleveland Cavaliers depth chart. Boy, do they need a small forward. They're trotting Dean Wade out there. All right, you familiar with Dean Wade's game?
I am familiar with the name. Yeah, and I know he does get some run at the end of the bench. Nowhere near starter, though.
He's playing something like 24, 25 minutes a game, scoring 6 points a game, 4 boards and assists, shooting 40% from the field. Okay, I get the upgrade, right? But were you willing to give up in Darius Garland 18 points, 2 boards, and 7 assists, shooting almost 50% on the season? It's not like Cleveland's a terrible shooting team, if we're being honest. I mean, Cleveland right now, I think they're shooting like almost shooting 47% from the field and 36% from three. That's not bad. It's upper middle of the pack in the NBA. So like, if that's the argument, were you really doing it? But I get like, okay, we got to get Dean Wade off the damn court. We're fine in our front court because we got Mobley and is it Jared Allen there?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, the Twin Towers down there. But I really like Garland as a player. I like him as a point guard. I like him as a court general. And let's be honest, and I haven't hit it very well. I am not a James Harden fan. Haven't been for some time. I don't like his style of game. It's a very selfish game. It doesn't contribute to winning as a franchise. And also, I've been out on the Clippers for a long time now. For a long time. I haven't paid attention to Kawhi Leonard and James Harden probably in 2 years. Could give a shit what they have going on.
Yeah, and I guess I'm backdooring my way to understanding this trade. So James Harden has this year left on his deal. Next year is a player option. He's most likely going to opt out, I would imagine, at the end of this season to try and get one more multi-year deal because he's 36 right now. Garland was under contract for 2 more years. He had nearly $90 million left up. And if you remember, Herb, Cleveland was one of those, the only team in the league coming into this season that was over that second apron in the NBA. They had already made or were a part of a deal that we'll touch on. Wasn't that big of a deal. Where they ducked under the second apron in that deal, that 3-team deal with Chicago and Sacramento the other day. It feels like they are trying to give themselves cap flexibility, knowing that Donovan Mitchell will soon be up for a contract extension. And they feel like Harden, like the best chance that Cleveland will have to keep Donovan Mitchell is if they win. Because Donovan Mitchell has never been to a conference finals. Not with the Jazz, not with the Cavs, right?
Never had the team around him.
Darius Garland, no, some of those Jazz teams he was on were great teams, like 60-win Jazz teams. He was also on a 60-win Cavs team last year with 4 All-Stars.
Correct. I'll give him last year. I guess I didn't think about the Jazz like that.
But I think they're making this move because they feel like this season alone, James Harden gives them a better opportunity to win and hopefully sway Donovan Mitchell to stay due to Darius Garland and the injuries that he has had so far this year. Like, he's still injured right now. And it's been like a lot of toe injuries too. Like, I think he had off-season toe that kept him out of the playoffs last year. But then he's been dealing with just tweaking it constantly this season, where he's only played 26 games thus far. But I will say his fit with Donovan Mitchell, I always felt was a little duplicative to me. And he's on the smaller end, 6'1". So he's not going to provide a whole lot defensively. I'm not saying James Harden will either, but I think James Harden can also come in and can flourish in a situation where he can just be more of a playmaker. Like, yeah, he can go and get his if needed, but he can really just sit there and make sure that Donovan Mitchell is getting his, Evan Mobley is getting his, Jared Allen's getting his, but he's also still going to shoot 40% from 3 and be efficient.
Keep in mind, James is having one of the worst 3-point shooting years of his career this year. He's down to 34%, and really it was the only time worse was 21-22, and he bounced between Brooklyn and Philly. Just so you know, real quick, I just looked on ESPN. They've already got James Harden slotted into the Cavaliers depth chart. Guess what spot they put him in?
Small forward?
Point guard.
Yeah. Is that surprising?
I figured with the addition that they just made and Donovan Mitchell, I thought that.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Like, Harden's going to have to slide into the 3 hole, and that would be perfect because you get this Dean Wade kid off the court.
It'll be interesting because they also got Keon Ellis and
Dennis
Dennis
Schroeder.
Schroeder.
Which
But yeah,
Dennis Schroeder's a serviceable point guard. He's not going to set you over the top, but he's serviceable. Been around long enough, he knows how to distribute the ball.
but the thing is, they could play three smaller wings because they have two 7-footers on their back line. So they could run out a lineup that's James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and Keon Ellis, who are all 6'3" to 6'6", and then have those two on the back line because they are pretty agile for big men. Like Evan Mobley can get out on the 3-point line with the best of them, you know? So I think it actually could play where Dean Wade isn't getting as much run anymore. But it'll be interesting because James Harden, his best teams have always been when he's had a good rim protector, like a great rim protector back behind him. Like back his Serge Ibaka with the Thunder, who was it, Clint Capella with the Rockets,
yep.
And then Zubac a little bit with LA. So I think he's set up for success more so than he has been when he's demanded a trade to some of these other locations.
I do worry about James and his attitude. We've seen it. We've seen a lot the last 5 years. And if he's not getting his, he tends to throw a little pity party for himself. I really hope that's not the case because Cleveland's one of those younger teams that, like, it felt cohesive. It felt gelled. It felt like they played like a team. And James Harden is anything but a team player the last, 10 years of his career.
No, I get what you're saying.
They don't need a diva.
No. But I don't hate it. I think this also is a signal that Lonzo Ball will be traded before Thursday's trade deadline as well. And I really hope he gets traded to the Charlotte Hornets and unites with his brother. That'd be pretty sick.
You want to root for the Balls, huh?
No, we'll get into that so shortly. Okay, so that was the breaking news, but then earlier today, I would say we had an even bigger trade because this was just more random than anything else. Was the Utah Jazz acquiring star forward Jaren Jackson Jr. for the Memphis Grizzlies for 3 first-round picks, along with rookie guard Walter Clayton Jr., forwards Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, and George Niang. The Jazz will also receive Jock Landale and guards John Conchar and Vince Williams Jr. But this was just so random because Jaren Jackson, 2-time All-Star, he was a Defensive Player of the Year just a couple of seasons ago. He had just extended his contract last summer. So he has 4 years and $205 million remaining on his deal. But that now pairs him with a young core of Lauri Markkanen, Keontae George, Walker Kessler. So they could have a super big lineup. They could put Lauri at the 3. You could put Jaren Jackson at the 4, and then Walker Kessler as your 5, which could be very interesting with how well Jaren Jackson and Lauri shoot from deep.
Yeah, did this feel to you like, and we've talked about it, it's been hinted at, like Memphis had to do right by Jaren Jackson. Memphis is going nowhere right now, and they know it. And maybe this is them doing right by Jaren Jackson, setting him to a team that can be competitive, maybe go compete in the playoffs, maybe make a run. I think the Jazz are set up beautifully now, especially because Jaren is under contract for so long. And I think Lauri's got another year after this year on his contract, if not longer. Keontae George is a rising player for him. And another thing, and I wanted to ask you this, does this signal with the Grizzlies acquiring Walter Clayton Jr., and I know he can't replace Ja, but does this signal that Ja's also going to be on the move here?
I think it's going to be tough moving Ja just due to his contract. It's a big fucking contract for a dude. I just don't think it's worth it. I just don't know what team's going to want to take that on.
Yeah, and especially with Trae Young moving so early and so quick, well before this deadline. that I don't know. I think it's either a signal that it's going to happen or putting Ja on notice of like, hey, we're bringing in somebody who's young, talented, and we think we could trust one day with this thing, and maybe you're not our guy anymore. Which again, he's only brought this on himself. I blame nobody else in the Ja Morant situation except for Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm trying. I should have fucking saved this tweet when I saw it earlier, but because we had this Jazz trade today, and then we had the Mike Conley trade earlier. So now you can finally do from those old Jazz teams where it was Donovan Mitchell, it was Rudy Gobert, it was Mike Conley. They had put it all together. Like, we traded our three best players from those years, and it turned to this. This is what it turned into. Yeah, and it was kind of crazy to look at, and now I can't fucking find it, and I'm pissed.
What a shame. We're terrible sports journalists. You know that?
I know. Fuck, I'm gonna probably find it too immediately after. But I guess I won't get held up on it. But yeah, it.
Who won this trade? Because I think it's Utah. I think anytime you can get a player like Jaren Jackson with the contract that he already has, pretty solid.
Maybe.
They lack depth now. They lack depth in a massive way now. They're going to probably have to sign some 2 ways in 10 days here to get them through the next couple of weeks.
What are you talking about? It was a 4 for 4. They got depth back. Also, how much was Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Walter Clayton Jr.? How much were those guys truly playing?
Clayton, I think, was contributing. Kyle Anderson, for whatever reason, continually finds himself on an NBA court. And for the guy who has...
Hey.
He has the slowest shot in the NBA. He has the slowest jumper in the world, and it works. It's like Sean Marion, just the ugliest jumper in the world, but guess what? Motherfucker goes in.
We're talking about a Utah Jazz team that's given Kevin Love 18 minutes a game.
Watch your mouth, all right? Kevin Love is a hero. Kevin Love is an icon. Kevin Love is Kevin, especially for you. Show some love to K Love now.
The dude is 37 years old, should not be playing.
No, he should step down. Yeah, I don't think he should be playing anymore. I think he needs to put his feet up. He's earned it. Put your feet up, K.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested for Memphis because now you think they've traded Desmond Bane, they've traded Jaren Jackson, they've gotten 7 first-round picks from the 2 of them over the course of however many years.
You know who else has done that lately, and it's worked?
Say it.
OKC. Okay, the model is seemingly working. Now we're going to get a really good case study on a second version of it. If they can pull this off, every NBA team in the world is going to have to go to this.
Which is interesting, too, because we were talking about with these aprons, like how much more valuable first-round picks were going to be. Because you were going to have the draft to you weren't just going to be able to go sign players to win a championship anymore. You were going to have to draft and develop some young guys. And that's kind of went to the wind with some of these trades thus far. Plus the rumors we're hearing for Giannis, where the Warriors are potentially offering 4 first-round picks plus 2 pick swaps, which I get for Giannis makes sense. But yeah, so much for that.
Yeah. So are we saying the second apron was the official Big 3 killer?
It definitely was the Big 3 killer. We all knew that.
I think we needed it, to be honest with you. I was kind of tired of hearing about, they got a Big 3 in this city. They got a Big 3 in this city. And fucking none of them worked out.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mind them. That's why I didn't care. Because it's not like they worked. Outside of Miami, it never worked.
Yeah, and let's be like the Celtics' Big 3 wasn't like I don't want to say it wasn't a Big 3 because it was.
But it wasn't free agency. They traded. They traded with both the Celtics or with the T-Wolves and the Supersonics to get Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. The Heat actually signed. Like, they all signed in free agency.
Massive
That
deals.
was the change.
And then Brooklyn tries it too and just fails miserably. God,
Yeah,
those Brooklyn teams were terrible.
and now it's hilarious because you get to watch Boston with both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who they would have otherwise had
Mm-hmm.
potentially if they drafted them. I should
Yeah,
say.
you can. I'll let you extrapolate that. That works.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, what trade do I want to talk about next? We can talk the fleecing. Let's talk your Bulls for a second. Let's just full switch to Bulls, because I think you guys had one of the best value trades from the entire day thus far, where you guys received both Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley, who Mike Conley you'll most likely buy out over the course of the next couple of days. The Timberwolves receive a first round swap with the Pistons, so not much. This is more a salary dump from their seat because Mike Conley was under contract for $10.8 million. And then the Pistons, all you had to send the Pistons for Jaden Ivey, who was once thought of to be the running mate of Cade Cunningham in Detroit. Like he had shown great flashes there. All you had to give up was Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric, who was on the roster for
a day and a half,
36 hours maybe.
Hey Dario, don't unpack your bags.
And then a protected first round swap with Minnesota.
Yeah,
that seems crazy value.
Yeah, and Dario on an expiring deal, Huerter on an expiring deal. And Huerter has not shot well in the last few months. I think the Pistons. I love the fit for the Pistons going to get Huerter because if Huerter can figure out,
because they need shooting.
Yes,
they need shooting in a bad way,
and he doesn't have to try to drive as much. I think that will work for them. But it's a big gamble to give up a young guy like Jaden Ivey, who has, like you said, he's shown flashes of being an elite point guard in this league.
We're talking, granted, over the course of the last 2 years, he's only played 63 games because of that injury that he suffered. Before he got injured last year, he was averaging almost 18 points, 4 and 4 on 41% shooting from three. He's 23 years old. He's just about to turn 24, I should say.
Oh no!
But still,
yeah, and well, I've got, as a Bulls fan, I don't quite understand the direction quite yet.
And let's finish that sentence, because the other trade that Chicago made after the fact was shipping off Nikola Vucevic and the worst of a second round pick, which you have been waiting for him to be off your roster for years.
Yep.
3 years. Your return was Anthony Simons and the better of a second round pick. It just seems like Chicago is just trying to stockpile all available guards, and they're like mine.
Yeah, and so here's where my head's at, and for the last couple of hours since the trade went through, I've been trying to wrap my head around it. And this might be outlandish, but I think this is a part of a bigger play, and I think it could be for AD. Because if you look at the Mavs have been looking to find a trade partner for AD. I'm not saying I want AD, but
I was going to say, why would you?
I don't necessarily want him, especially at this stage in his career with all the injuries and everything. But if you look at the Mavs right now, they are probably the number one team hurting for a point guard. They've got Cooper Flagg running point out of necessity, not because he thrives at that position. So
Kyrie's coming back soon.
Again, though, but he hasn't played in a while, and he's coming off injury, and he's getting a little bit older. That's not a knock on Kyrie. These are just factors you have to take into it. So I wonder if we're just stockpiling backcourt guys to be able to put together a package to go get somebody like AD or go get, I don't want to say Cat because they're not necessarily hurting too bad at point guard. But you look at it. We've got six point guards on our team now.
You got Giddey, you got Kobe White, you got AO, you got Anthony Simons, Trey Jones, Jaden Ivey.
Six point guards. Now, granted, Simmons can play Shooting guard, Giddy can thrive at shooting guard as well, although he prefers to have the ball in his hand. But it feels like Kobe's going to be on the move. The Bulls, I do not think, are done here. I think that's what the bigger play is, and maybe that's just me being a hopeful fan, you know. But can we talk about Kobe White?
What about Kobe White?
You saw the rumor, right? T-Wolves had a chance at him. They declined on taking.
Yes,
Kobe
they were
White.
offered Kobe White in that trade, and they were like, "No thanks, thanks but no thanks."
And the reasoning being they wanted to clear cap to be able to get Giannis in a trade.
Yep.
So what I'm going to say,
Come on.
What I'm going to say to you is, if they don't get Giannis, what a colossal fuck up by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that will cost the GM their job. 100%. Now, you're lucky as a T-Wolves fan that basically Giannis is down to 3 teams: Minnesota, Miami, and the Warriors. That's kind of where it's starting to narrow into. So you've got 33% chance, but if you miss on Giannis and you decline to take a player like Kobe White, because I think we can both agree Kobe White's a great point guard and exactly what the T-Wolves are kind of looking for, somebody's going to get fired if they don't get Giannis.
Herb. Huh?
Talk to me.
Trust circle?
Trust circle. Bring him close.
I don't know if I want him.
Oh!
I don't know if I want Giannis.
Now let me ask you this. I'm gonna let you run here. But is it because of what it would cost to get him?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure you're in the right headspace.
Like, it just feels crazy to me. Like, we are sitting at number 5 in the East or the West right now, and we reasonably could get up to the 2 seed still. We're only 3 games back.
You're in the fight.
It's a dogfight right now. 2nd through 7th are split by 3.5 games, so there's a lot of movement that could be had. We have no tradable draft assets for the foreseeable future because they're all tied up in that Rudy Gobert trade and then Rob Dillingham trade that ended up being god-awful. But that means for us to trade him, we would most likely have to trade Jaden McDaniels, who very well could be our best defender.
Yep.
Julius Randle, potentially, most likely, Rob Dillingham, Terrence Shannon Jr. are getting included within that, along with a young forward that we just drafted that I'm very intrigued by in Johan Behringer. That name might not ring any bells. He's only 19. He's
not familiar with his game.
And then you might even have to still throw in a Dante DiVincenzo or a Naz Reid.
See, I think you could get away with Dillingham, Randall, McDaniels, and 2 way in the future picks. Maybe
we
3 in the future.
Don't even have. We can't.
We're talking about 2035 here, bud.
We can't. Okay. You're not able to. You can't just 2040. Here's a pick. You can only trade picks over the course of, I think it's 6 years. No, it's.
It might. Last year
it's
the trade,
8 years or something.
In the draft, 2031 picks were flying. We were talking about 12-year-olds that were going to be potentially in the NBA one day.
How far away?
I don't know that you would have to give up your entire roster to get him, but you would have to give up a big old chunk of your roster. And then how well is that going to mesh with Ant? I'm sure it would be great, but that is a question mark because you don't know. They've never played together.
Okay. So there is a rule that prohibits teams from trading away consecutive first-round picks. A team must retain at least 1 first-round pick in consecutive drafts. Teams can trade their own picks or picks they acquire from other teams, but must adhere to the above.
I'm not hearing anything about trading a 2052 pick here.
Yeah, so right now for 2025, you can trade 7 years of picks.
Okay. So we'd be looking
2032.
2032, 2033, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and we don't have the rights to any of those picks.
Well, that ain't it. So yeah, you would have to be giving up literally your future for Giannis.
So you think about it. So then, at least this year, right? You trade all those names as a starting point. So you're rolling out Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, Giannis. That's already a terrible fit because neither Giannis or Rudy can shoot.
Yep.
So it's not like you can really play them together for long stretches. You just have no shooting.
It would be hard to replace Julius Randle and Naz Reid, to be honest with you.
No, I think Jaden McDaniel, he's our best defender on the wing.
Jaden, yes. I agree. I would hate to see you guys lose McDaniel. I think he is a heartbeat for the
He is one of the most
Timberwolves.
underrated players in the entire NBA.
Yeah, and that's why the Bucks would want him.
He alone probably could go and get 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, you know what? I won't disagree too heavy with you there.
Considering Desmond Bane got 4.
How well is that working out?
I mean, he still got 4.
Yeah.
And Jaden McDaniels is only getting paid $27 million for the next 3 years.
The fact that you guys could have got Kobe and not really given up much more, maybe a first rounder down the road, right?
I don't even know. It sounded like it was literally, do you want him? And they just said no.
Like, as the trade sits, if we throw Kobe in this mix, would you want him? They're like, nah, we can't take on the cap.
That's how I was understanding it.
Fire GM. Fire him today, fire him tomorrow, fire him the next day. Something.
But is that crazy that I don't want Giannis due to there's no way we would be competitive this season.
No, you wouldn't.
The rest
think
of this
so.
year.
But also, do you think about your core? Like Julius Randle, Ant, Naz Reid, DiVincenzo. These guys have played together now, and they've shown they can be successful. I don't like when the T-Wolves all of a sudden were in the mix for Giannis. I was like, why would you want to be? From the jump, obviously.
It was the same thing when they were involved with KD last year at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And that didn't make any sense to me then either.
No.
This team has made it to 2 back-to-back Western Conference finals. All we really needed was a true point guard that we could play because Mike Conley was far too old to be doing it, and Rob Dillingham hasn't developed like everyone expected him to.
No, he's still got another couple years of developing if he's going to be something. Wouldn't it have been nice to have Kobe White, huh?
Dude, I feel like that fit would have just been
perfect.
Effortless.
He's such an elite passer.
You could have had a starting lineup of Kobe White, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert with Naz Reid, Dante DiVincenzo, Bones Highland, and Terrence Shannon Jr. off the bench.
And to me, that sounds like a team that goes back to the Western Conference Finals.
Seriously.
Yeah. So, big swing and a miss, it feels like, for the T-Wolves.
And, I was trying to do research before we started this show of, true, NBA blockbuster deadline deals, right? When have those, truly ever worked out?
Luka?
Has it worked out though?
I mean, yeah, I would have to say yes to this point. There's some other issues along the road for the Lakers there, but that's the big one that comes to mind. Can you find any? Do you have any?
I mean, my head immediately always goes to the Carmelo Anthony trade to New York.
Yeah. Was Shaq traded at the deadline, or was he traded in the offseason to Miami?
Okay, I got the report that I was looking at before. Let me just go to the top here. So the big one is the Luka one. I think that one's too early to tell. Obviously, Lakers fans are going to feel like they won that, but they haven't really won anything. Then, obviously, you have the deal that you mentioned earlier, the Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce trade to the Nets. That went down in fucking flames.
Trash.
You had Pau Gasol go to the Lakers. That one, I will say, worked. They got
Yep.
2 championships out of it. Then you had Clyde Drexler to the Rockets. I would also argue worked out pretty well. He was a baller for the Trailblazers that brought them to a couple Western Conference Finals. Rasheed Wallace. I don't know if that's truly a blockbuster. I don't know.
Probably at the time, sure, but in the grand scheme of NBA history, probably not.
But I'm talking about, like, at that point, Rasheed Wallace, he wasn't a top 15 player in the league.
Probably not. He was young.
I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But then you have the Carmelo Anthony trade. Did not work.
Nope.
Ray Allen to the Supersonics. Didn't work. Halliburton to the Pacers. You could argue worked.
Yeah.
James Harden to the Sixers.
Didn't work.
Dud. Kevin Durant to the Suns. Dud.
Yeah, ain't there anymore.
Marc Gasol to the Raptors. Win.
Yeah.
Championship. And that's pretty much the big ones. We don't have to keep going down the total.
Yeah, it feels 50-50, right? It just.
But a lot of those deals that did work were deals where they didn't have. It was more like pick, like, dependent. It felt like. You know?
Sure, more pick centric.
Somebody's
here, like, get a haul or give a
like
haul.
when Powell got traded to the Lakers, they gave up Kwame Brown, garbage, Jarvis Crittenton, garbage, Aaron McKee, garbage, the draft rights to his brother, which in hindsight, that was big. Marc Gasol ended up being very good, and then 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, that's what the value is.
It was essentially 3 first-round picks you gave up for Pau Gasol. Because those depth pieces were just that, depth pieces that weren't providing a whole lot to your team otherwise.
Yeah.
But then you see, like, what the Knicks gave up for Carmelo Anthony, where they gave up Wilson Chandler, Raymond Felton, Danilo Gallinari, Timothy Mozgov, a first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, cash. They also gave up Eddie Curry and some other guys, but they also got back a couple guys in the trade. But
that was 4
just tanked them
out of New York. It was 4 starters sending them to Denver. And let's be honest, Danilo Gallinari and Wilson Chandler, like, they still balled in Denver.
Yeah, they had value still. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I get it. Giannis is a top 5 player in the NBA, even with his injuries that he's had this year, which are their own concern in themselves, too. You never want to hear of a big man having all of these lower body injuries.
Especially his style of game.
Never want to hear that.
No.
Like, I get it, he's top 5. That's scary. 2, there's not even a guarantee he re-signs. We trade all of those assets. There's not even a guarantee he re-signs in Minnesota after next season.
You would need that handshake agreement behind closed doors that he would in order to pull the trigger on this trade. For anybody, for the Warriors, for the Heat, for Minnesota, you would have to make this trade with the commitment that Giannis is going to sign you a big old contract next season.
The only way I can get comfortable in this is if somehow we can trade Rudy Gobert instead.
Brother, nobody's taking Rudy. You know.
He's been pretty good this year.
Yeah. But, hey, here it is. Here's the Rudy Gobert trash talk. Rudy fucking sucks in the playoffs. Rudy's lost in the playoffs.
You know what I have to say to that, Herb?
What's that?
Fuck you.
Hey, you remember this one? That was like episode 1, baby. Running around there like a toddler. Can't figure out how to grab the damn ball. He's 7'4".
Hey, buddy, why don't you go fuck yourself, okay?
This is not a Rudy Gobert fan club podcast. I'll tell you that much. It never will be. It never has been.
You just don't know ball.
Listen, Rudy has been an elite defender. He will go down in the analytics of NBA history as one of the best shot blockers of all time. Rudy can't figure out how to play basketball in the playoffs.
Somebody could want him still.
Maybe. Now, let me throw this at you. Because this is kind of interesting. I don't know that it's likely at all, but Zion Williamson has been floated a lot.
No.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you were going to say.
No. He sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know if he actually sucks or the Pelicans are actually that bad, so it just makes him look way worse. He's bad.
It'd be way cheaper option though.
No, he's on a max deal.
I mean,
he'd be more expensive.
What you'd have to give up.
Oh, correct.
You could keep a guy like you could probably keep McDaniel.
But he's a dude. I think Julius Randle is better than Zion.
Yes.
For what he does for on an NBA court. At least Julius Randle can shoot.
Yeah.
Zion has still not developed any sort of 3-point shot. And he's atrocious on defense.
Which is baffling to me because it's like, hey, if you're going to be good somewhere, be good there, Zion. You're not. So, no, I just want to float that. I figured that would be your response, but I just wanted to see if I could tickle your fancy there.
No, it's not tickled. I'm offended, actually. I would rather have Ja Morant of the two.
Again, much cheaper option.
But Ja Morant also can't shoot.
You're giving up Julius either way in either one of those trades.
Yes, most likely.
Okay. So let's get back to Giannis here for a second. Where, if not Minnesota, which I think you've made a really good point on not wanting him because of what you'd have to give up, where do you see him landing?
I just don't know why Milwaukee is rushing to trade him at the trade. He literally finally points to hey, I'm ready to get out of here, get up out of here and dip, bounce. And they're trying to put together some blockbuster deal in the span of a week and a half when there's no need to. This screams a deal that should be made in the offseason when you have full leverage of the situation.
So that's a great point. Let me ask you this. If Giannis doesn't get moved by Friday, right? Thursday, whenever the trade deadline's on Thursday, my apologies. If he doesn't get moved, is there any sense for either Giannis or the Bucks to continue having him play for the Bucks, or just sit there, or hey, Giannis, go home?
No.
You think that's probably the likely move if he ends up not getting moved this week?
I think that's why they've been so vague on his return, the timetable for this most recent injury, this calf injury.
Just shut him down for good.
They're just yeah, we'll reevaluate in a couple weeks.
So for me, if he's moving this week, I think it's Miami, and I think guys like Kelly Ware, Jaime, I think Tyler Hero, those guys, if it happens, plus picks, which I think the Bucks would be really happy about, especially Tyler Hero being a Milwaukee kid. But if he stays, they shut him down and he gets moved. I think that's a Warriors move. I think that's a Kuminga-centric trade in the offseason.
If he gets traded by Thursday, it's to the Warriors because the Warriors can offer 4 first-round picks, Brandon Pozinski, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody if they need to. That's 3 young, startable players and 4 first-round picks in the post-Curry era.
See, and there's just something...
Just kidding. I think they would have to include Jimmy Butler in the trade too.
Probably.
Who they would then be able to most likely flip at next year's deadline once he's healthy from his injury for more first-round picks.
If not even sooner than that, to be honest with you. So, depending on his injury timeline. But I think for some reason there's something in my head telling me if it's to the Warriors, it waits. But if it's moving this week...
I don't think they have time to wait. If they are trying to truly maximize Curry's last couple of seasons, they would have to do it by Thursday. They're not going to waste the rest of this year. If they're not going to sit here and be like, well, we can just wait until the offseason when Steph is going into most likely his final year before retirement. Let's just waste the last couple months of this season.
Yeah, that's fair. Did you also see that the Warriors have been talking around Draymond as a potential piece to move, which I think is the right move?
I had saw a report which this has to be illegal if true. Talking about how Draymond would be okay with getting traded because he has a player option for next year. He could decline it and then immediately sign back with Golden State in the offseason.
On probably a much cheaper deal, team friendly.
That seems extremely illegal to openly acknowledge that.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to be a playoff team that is a defender away from going to the conference finals, if not the NBA finals, and knowing you are getting him on an absolute, 3-month loan, 4-month loan. I don't know that there's very many teams out there that are in those positions to do so.
And is Draymond really a missing piece of a contender team at his age?
I don't think so anymore. 3 years ago, maybe, but not now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't see him getting moved.
That would make sense too.
Plus, I don't know that anybody else would put up with his bullshit other than Steve Kerr.
Yeah. Valid.
Interesting move so far in the NBA. It's been fun. I'm excited to see where the Bulls go. I need them to make another move because I just don't know the direction yet.
Yeah. One more thing, NBA, then we'll do shout outs, and we do not have to spend time on this. I just feel like it has to be said. With all these trades going down, everybody just seems to have forgotten Paul George was suspended for 25 games for breaking the drug policy.
They don't even test for weed anymore. What did he pop for?
That's the question. I don't know.
Hanging out on that booger sugar, huh?
So, yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Because they didn't say – normally they come out and say if it's a PED, right?
Yeah, usually – because isn't there a separate, drug policy, which is, your street drugs, and then a doping policy?
Yeah, so, I mean, and they don't test for marijuana anymore in the NBA. They came to the realization, KD's stoned out there. We can't suspend him for that. He's too good when he's on the court high. But then you start to think, hey, Paul George, where's your life at? What are you about, man? What's happening here?
They say improper medication.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure. You mean all those team doctors?
Okay. Before you go off on this tangent and feel like a piece of shit, and I say after the fact, I'll say it now, and then you can decide if you want to continue your tangent.
Sure.
Okay.
Please.
This is a statement from Paul George. Over the past few years, I've discussed the importance of mental health in the course of recently seeking treatment for an issue of my own, I made the mistake of taking an improper medication. Continue if you'd like.
Sure. You're telling me that an NBA franchise who has access to probably some of the best psychiatrists, physicians, the whole nine, that somebody in that doctor sphere for that NBA franchise made a mistake like that? I can't see that happening. I'm not knocking going out and getting help and being medicated for mental health issues, right? I just can't believe that an NBA doctor associated with the franchise would make that mistake. I'm not saying it can't be done, but hey, Paul, that sounds like a well-scripted PR release, my friend. Again, I'm hoping I'm wrong on that, but I don't know, man. I don't see them making those mistakes.
So they're saying, I agree with you. I've never understood how athletes can unknowingly take something that is a banned substance. It is very easily identifiable if something is illegal or contains something that it's illegal. But even for professional athletes, some things that you can take are specific antidepressants, I guess. Adderall, Xanax.
Sure, but he's not going to a primary care physician of his own choosing. He's going to the team doctor. If he gets a hangnail, he goes to the team doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hey, Paul George, wish you well. But let's be honest, Paul George's time in the NBA is probably coming to a very swift end.
Yeah. Okay, shout outs, Herb. God, this hour and a half went by quick. And I wish we would have had more time to talk about this. But all these goddamn trades had to have happened that took up our time. Because my shout out is the goddamn Charlotte Hornets, winners of 7 in a row. They're now sitting at 23-28. They might be one of the most exciting teams to watch in the NBA. If you missed it, Herb, in the month of January, the Charlotte Hornets had the number 1 net rating in the entire league. They had the number 1 offense and the number 6 defense. When they had the starting lineup of LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, and Moose Mayape, their offensive rating was 140 plus. That's fucking mind-blowing. That's unfathomable.
And if that tells me anything, that LaMelo needs to stay put, and the Charlotte Hornets need to keep him around, because I know he's been floated in all these trade rumors, and there's little whispers and dark corners about LaMelo going to be on the move. I think with the recent success, and truthfully, Con Knipple has fucking injected massive life into this team. I like the flow of the Charlotte Hornets right now. And also, let's not forget, there are more Knipples coming along in the next couple of years.
4 more.
Yeah. And guess what? The youngest one might be the best of them all.
That's what they always say. But, yeah, I think there's many people that if this continues, which I hope it does, because Charlotte is, like, all jokes aside, like, this is going to sound corny shit, it's buzzing. Like, I shit you not, like, the talk of Charlotte right now and the vibes, it's crazy with this Hornets team. A lot of people are going to be owing LaMelo Ball an apology because everybody thought he was an empty stat patter that could not contribute to a winning organization or a winning team. And the play of the last month and a half completely contradicts all of that. And it's not just the young pieces too. This team, it's so interesting too because their roster is so balanced. There's 48 minutes in an NBA game. During this stretch, Brandon Miller is their leading by minutes. He plays just over 30 minutes a game. They're getting plenty of minutes from Colin Sexton, from Ryan Kalkbrenner, from Pat Connaughton, all of those vets too. Like, you can see the impact that Colin Sexton and Pat Connaughton have had on this team because I've been they're constantly in my For You page now on TikTok, and Grant Williams too is another big voice that's on the bench. I love Grant
Williams.
And you can hear it in the bench. They are talking as much, if not more, than Charles Lee, the head coach, in those huddles about things like reminders on top of what Coach Lee is saying. And I think that's been super beneficial for a team that's this young. Brandon Miller is legitimately taking a leap into superstardom with how he has played. And he's playing it with a goddamn shoulder pad on, too. Like, I still don't think he's 100% healthy from that shoulder injury. And he's balling.
The acquisition of him and then the draft that they just had, what incredible moves. And again, we're talking about team play. Kind of like we were talking about with Minnesota. Like,
truly.
They just gel. They're fun. They're young. They love
I have written this down.
And having fun,
during this stretch, they have 5 players averaging almost 13 points a game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what? 2 of those are coming off the bench?
Technically 1, Sexton.
Sure. And again, another great acquisition. And only a benefit to LaMelo Ball. You were afraid about the minutes being taken away? No. If anything, Colin's teaching this kid how to do it because Colin.
It's perfect, and I think it helps LaMelo stay healthy too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not depending on LaMelo playing 40 fucking minutes a game. But
exactly.
As a now Charlotte Hornets fan, if you had to pick one guy to be the face of the franchise, who is it right now?
You'd have to say, everybody's probably wants to say Knipple, but if we're being honest, it's got to be Brandon Miller.
I would agree 100% with that.
I swear to God, we could be seeing a trajectory that's going exponential here over the course of the next couple of years if he stays healthy, which is something I was not saying when he came out in the NBA draft a couple years ago.
No, he was a project. He was a project.
I wouldn't say project. I just didn't see the ceiling as high as some others we're predicting. I thought he would have be a good depth piece, not depth piece, but he would be a good starter. Maybe makes a couple of all-star teams if things go right. No, this guy has all NBA potential.
Yeah, and when I say project, I didn't see this level of scoring out of him when he was coming out of college. I didn't know that it was like that. It's like that.
Yeah, but no, they'll definitely talk about this draft class in the annals of Charlotte Hornets history.
In the what?
Is that not what they call it?
The Analects.
No.
Listen, what you do at home is what you do at home. Leave anal out of this podcast, please.
Isn't that what they call the little things underground where they
Brother,
keep
I don't know what you call it, all right? I think you're doing it wrong.
Brother, is that not what they call it?
I don't think the
annals of history.
Annals, okay, not anals.
Annals. Well, I mean it's spelled annals, ANNALS.
Yeah, the annals. We can adjust. We can announce it.
The annals of history.
I didn't know that it was the annals. I thought it was the Analects of history. But
I was closer than you were, asshole.
You said annals.
Technically, I just mispronounced it.
Mom,
but I had the word right.
Mom, I'm so sorry if you've made it.
There's no way your mom made it an hour and 40 minutes in this podcast.
No chance whatsoever.
She gave up on us. That's why we still haven't gotten our Christmas presents.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my own Christmas presents, let alone the one she sent to both of us. So,
yeah,
she claims it's too big to ship. I call bullshit on that.
Well, then how is she planning on getting it to me then?
Oh, trust me, I've asked a question and it has fallen on deaf ears and mute mouths. Thank you very much.
If it can't ship, how are you getting it to Isaiah?
I've got a lot of questions from my own mother. All right, my shout out. This is going to be a little sentimental. All right. There's a few folks from work. Those that don't know, I previously worked at Shields for the last 7 years, which is a sporting good retailer. There are a few
Dude, you're
of the
doxing
guys.
Yourself.
I'm all right with it. Few of the guys at work listen to the pod. Want to shout them out. Appreciate the follows, fellas. But this is my last week there. I'll be moving on to greener pastures to a big boy. Oh, yeah. No, I'm throwing it out there, man.
You can't say that. You have to lie.
No, it's so much better.
Exponentially better. You have to lie about those things.
Oh, I'm not, brother. The pay bump is life changing, and the opportunity is life changing. So I want to shout out to the Shields crew. Thank you very much for following and listening. I appreciate you. Really excited about the next opportunity. A lot of change for your boy here in 2026. The
year of the herb.
See, I don't want to call too early because I'm kind of sitting here in the back of my mind like, hey, the dominoes are going to fall apart here. But a lot of things are moving in the right direction here.
The year of the herb.
Could be. Chinese New Year 14 days away, so we'll see.
Exactly. Okay, folks. Well, that wraps up episode 41 of Don't Quote Us Sports. As always, make sure to leave us a like, comment, subscribe, follow. Tell someone you know to give us a listen.
Tell everybody.
I should be telling a lot of people because
us
in Charlotte, we've all been trapped at home for the last 2 weeks. Like, literally.
We need to get you on, you need to get in some Facebook neighborhood groups and just drop a link.
Fuck, you're right.
Get on it, bud.
Yeah, that's on me.
All right.
But, folks, we will catch you next week.
See ya.
Peace.